actually, we're going to start going into motorsports at this point. Motorsports, of course, is a segment where we look into Nissan's current motorsports portfolio, its race entries, supported teams, and how they are doing. Of course, we talk about whatever is kind of hot at the moment. Right now we've got a lot going on with whatever's. It is a downtime, but we're of course featuring everything that is still ongoing at this time. Formula E is down right now. Centra Cup is just recently finished out. Of course, we've got Nissan Challenge that's still going, which is a localized racing event that we cover here in the United States, and have some really good friends that are actually part of that on with us here tonight as well.
Yeah.
Mike, let's. I think you have the first one, which is the Nissan Challenge, correct?
Yeah, we sure are. So yeah, getting into Nissan Challenge, the there's nothing new to report specifically for this episode since the last time we went live here. However, the next race is this upcoming weekend. We're talking round 6 at the streets of Willow. This is in Southern California. For anybody who's in the area, go to corner3motorsports.com and look for the link that says the Challenge Series. That's going to be the best way to see the full schedule.
Mhm.
This is round 6. There's 2 more to go after this. So even though it's the end of the year in Southern California, specifically, competition, track days, all that is still very much going on. Again, the last round here is in mid-December. So one of the benefits of being in California, you got some really nice weather most of the year. Um,
Mhm.
this is part. The Nissan Challenge this weekend is part of the SR20 convention, which we know about, Miles.
Mhm.
We encourage everybody to go out there, though. Again, this is at the streets of Willow in Southern California. I think our buddy Edgar is on the line here too. So again, we've got some. Again, we've had interviews with the team and organizers of the Nissan Challenge. Great group of guys. We definitely encourage you guys that are in the area, go check them out, man. You definitely owe it to yourself.
Yeah, the last final of their shows, and we've talked about this in some of the prior shows, but they have the SR20 convention that's coming up, and then of course the R meeting for those that are still sleeping under a rock. The massive GTR meeting is actually part of one of their other events. That did that already happen, or was that one of the upcoming events? I couldn't remember.
Which one?
The R meeting.
Oh, I think it's
Edgar
upcoming.
will chime in here just a little bit, but yeah,
Yes.
I mean, they are starting to get some really good development with working with these tracks and working with these other groups. So again, if you have an opportunity, definitely, and if of course you're in the neighborhood of California, you definitely want to start chiming in with those, getting that on your radar and on your calendar, and start looking to attend those if you have an opportunity, or just keep up with them. So again, kudos to those racers that are going to have an upcoming race weekend. We wish everybody a safe racing weekend. Hope you all have a good time. Moving on from there, Super GT is probably the next biggest news. We are actually just finished up round 7 of Autopolis. Now, let me see here. I'm just going to run through some of the figures and the race results from that. So in the 300 class, it was a pretty good weekend. Kind of off, rainy on Saturday. Sunday turned out to be a dry day. 300 series, of course, this is all the GTRs that Nissan is currently running in that series. Fifth place, car number 56, realized Nissan Mechanic Challenge GTR. I would have hoped they would have been higher up the line as they normally are, but unfortunately, that's where they placed. Ninth place, car number 11, the Gainer 10X GTR.
Mhm.
10th place, car number 10, the Ponos Gainer 10X GTR. And then, of course, 14th place, car 360, the run up Rival GTR, which unfortunately is the last team right now in the rankings. So we'll talk a little bit about rankings here a little bit later. I don't know why I said that. It should have been nicer to them. They've obviously been working hard. So keep going, guys. Maybe we'll get up in placement. Series 500, which is all the Z's that Nissan's currently fielding right now.
Mm.
Third place, car number 3, the Nitira Multi Z, ended up putting in for third place. huge congratulations to them on that. Fifth place, car number one, the previously Calsonic Impul team, now Morelli Impul Z, ended up going with fifth place. 10th place, car number 23. I would have hoped they would have been higher up in the rankings because they were really good sitting for the rankings for the team.
Mm.
Motul Altec Z, car number 23, 10th place. Not the best showing, but again, you never know what the next round's going to have. 12th place, car number 24, the Realized Advan Z has slipped down. They ended up taking 12th place. So that's where we are for round 7. We only have one more round to go. Round 8 will actually be the 4th and the 5th of November at Motegi.
Mm.
Now, in the 300 series, current rankings right now, third place, the Realized Nissan Mechanic GTR team, Mechanic Challenge GTR team, is actually sitting in third. The Gainer Tenax team is actually sitting in eighth place. That's for the 300 series. In the 500 series, we're actually not doing too bad. Second place is car number 3. The Nitera Multo Z is actually sitting there. We've got some points to make up. I don't know how that's going to play out. It's all just going to depend how round 8 goes for us. But it sounds like they're going to be pretty good for sitting on the podium somehow with that. So, fifth place for team ranking, car number 1, Team Impulse Z, formerly Calsonic team, and sixth place, car number 23, Team Nismo or the Multul Altec Z. So we're not doing too bad as far as team rankings is concerned. So
Mm.
yeah,
Now, and this is the second year that the new Z has been competing in Super GT, I believe, right? I mean, it's last year was the new Z essentially took first last year, I believe, and this year, would you say they're doing just as good as last year, or maybe
I would say
slipping a little
they're
bit?
not doing too bad. I mean, you got to remember also that the car number 23, that car took a massive
It did.
um, destruction. Nothing short than that. I mean, the whole car basically had to be redone right at the time of the break. So they had to rebuild that car. They had some coming back from that, but they were killing it prior to that, which is why their ranking is so high still. Um, so let's see how they do as far as making it back up to maybe a stronger podium finish for now. But the Nitera Multi Z has kind of steadily been holding strong this entire series,
Hmm.
which is why they're kind of sitting where they're at for second ranking right now. So,
Gotcha.
but again,
Gotcha,
we'll
man.
keep you updated. If we had a Facebook page, I would that was working, and we weren't in Facebook jail for the freaking Nissan Nerd podcast page. I love to usually put up the race when it's live, but unfortunately, it's not
Yeah.
going to happen. So,
I did some research on that. By a side note, I was looking into it, trying to get some updates. Still, same status,
I
under
don't know what the
review.
hell's going on. We're
Yeah, I
still
have
on
no idea.
well, Instagram's still being good to us right now.
Instagram's
So
good to us. So yeah, for those who would like more from us, go to our Instagram, sign up with that
yeah.
one for sure.
And if you want to know more what's happening with the with Super GT as a whole, you can subscribe. Instagram has some really good coverage, some really good some great photos as far as photo coverage, video live coverage. That's available through Instagram. I should say live coverage, but photo coverage and some really good pitch shots is really kind of where I grab all these photos from. Is all
Hmm.
from the Instagram pages. Again, you can check that out through the Super GT Instagram, and then of course Nismo has a really good coverage of everything that they have with the Super GT Racing Series right now. So yeah, I highly
Yeah,
recommend following those. So
gotcha,
all right,
gotcha,
and
man.
GT4
Yep.
series, you are going to be covering here for us today, right?
Sure am. Yes. So, since we last left off with the GT4 America Series, of course, we do have two of the new Z entries, GT4 spec Z cars. That is with our team, Tech Sport Racing. They have their two entries. Of course, we're talking about the number 22 car, which is the black and red GT4Z. The drivers are Eric Powell and Colin Harrison. And then you have the number 23 car, the white and red Z car. That is driven by Brian Highcotter and Tyler Stone. Honestly, these were the last two rounds of the season, round 13 and 14. They took place October 5th and 6th. Um, it happened at Indianapolis Motor Speedway in Indiana. What was really cool about this track is that, of course, it's the legendary Indianapolis Motor Speedway. It's a high speed ring. Um, if and I'll get into the results in a second here, but what I'm really seeing is that it seems like the Z car is doing really good with the high speed rings. Even if the entire course is not the ring, we're seeing some really good results when part of the course is a high speed ring. But let's go ahead and get into it then. So we're gonna start off with round 13. Eric Powell and Colin Harrison qualified 25th. Now, however, they were able to finish the race 17th place overall, so they did have an improvement there. And then it was eighth position for their class specifically. So again, 17th overall, eighth into the class. Now, Brian Highcotter and Tyler Stone in round 13, they qualified 31st. They were even further behind in race one there. Now, however, they were able to finish essentially 10th in their class and 32nd overall. Um, this is a huge gain, though. When you think about it, starting in 31st place and finishing 10th in class, they were actually awarded with the Hard Charger Award from the GT4 series, which is the car or driver team that gained the most positions in a race. And this is actually the second time that Tech Sport Racing has received this award. And I believe the last one was at Sebring, which was that high speed ring. That's
Yep.
where I was thinking. I see these connections. Now, if you combine that with improvements that the team has made in the car progressively, again, this is the last race of the year. Uh, really, they're leaving it all out on the track, essentially. Getting into the next race that happened on Sunday, Eric Powell and Colin Harrison, they qualified 27th to start. However, they did finish ninth in their class, 19th overall. So they did see a gain. It's progressively during these races that they were able to just really start just chomping through the races, through the positions. So we do see progress there. Brian Highcotter and Tyler Stone in that second race on Sunday qualified 13th and finished seventh in their class, 24th overall. So, in total, both our cars, I should say, brought in 12 points for Tech Sport Racing this last weekend. And honestly, that marks the end of the season, end of 2023 season. In summary, if you're interested to know, in their class, which is the Pro-Am class, there were 20 entries, 20 team entries this year. Tech Sport Racing finishes ninth place as a team out of those 20 entries. So I want to say congrats to the team. I hope they've really enjoyed this 2023 season, and I do see preparations already being made for 2024 and Tech Sport. If the rumors are to be believed, here, I believe we'll see them again representing Nissan and the Z car in 2024. So that resumes, or sorry, that concludes the GT4 race this season, and we'll be moving on and checking in with them. But of course, I believe the next race doesn't happen until late March of next year, so it's going to be a little bit until our next recap, unless we hear anything between now and then. So we'll go ahead and keep you guys updated.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, we'll have to kind of check in with those guys. Maybe we can get some of those. Maybe some of the racers or some of the pit folks to kind of come on with us since they've got some downtime or in
Now that
development.
they've got,
We'll ask them if they're going to
yes.
get the lawnmower men helmets and see if they're getting any development like that. So we'll see how that goes. By the way, for those that don't know, Mike and Haley actually did some great coverage of one of the race events where they got some really good footage, some good interviews. You can go back and listen to a few of our, I don't know how many podcasts back it was, maybe like two or
Yes.
three, where we actually did some great interviews with those folks and some good insights on what's happening with the cars, racer development, team development. So I found that pretty astonishing.
Yeah.
that we were able to get all that stuff. And they're great folks. They were super open to helping everybody out, and they've opened themselves up to car corrals for the Nissan community. So
Yeah.
tell me that's not cool. So yeah, we're gonna. It's kind of bittersweet that the season's kind of now ended, but
Yeah.
I can't kind of wait for the next one. So that'd be pretty awesome.
I will say you're absolutely right, Miles. Though every race that they've participated in this year, from a Z enthusiast perspective, no matter where you are in the U.S., has been essentially a party for those in the area. You know,
Yeah,
you go out there, you take your Z, you get preferred parking, you get some parade laps, and then the Tech Sport Racing team. My hats off to them. You know, a lot of teams could say, "Hey, we're busy. We can't afford to have you near us. We can't talk to you right now." Techsport wasn't doing that. They were saying, "Oh, hey, you doing all right? Yeah, pop a squat, take a seat if you need to." Very, very hospitable, very nice people. So I really hope that continues in 2024. And yeah, those interviews that you mentioned, they are on our YouTube channel. We spoke with Brian Highcotter and Tyler Stone, and then the other interview was with two of the Nismo engineers. That are responsible for the GT4 entry. So great interviews. Check out our podcast network and YouTube channel. You can get a hand. You can see those there.